153rd day of Ukrainian resistance, media center Ukraine Ukrinform is working. My name is Vasil Smakvolov. Yuriy Ihnat is with us, Speaker of the Air Force of Ukraine. Yuriy, good day. Good day. Yuriy, let's start with precise things. Lately, in Khmelnytskyi region, we downed 100% of missiles. And there is a feeling that the efficiency of anti-air defense is growing in Ukraine. Why is it so? Anti-aircraft defense. Of course, it grows because the professionalism of personnel increases. We receive certain experience that we did not have before. Organize better cooperation between different detachments that are operating that cooperation. Systems notification, system of detecting the targets and making decisions, and that binds in different system and works better and better, and we down the targets. I would like to mention that the activity is reached due to a human factor, not due to the foundation is not supplies of weapons, because regretfully we have not received the heavy equipment that we dream about, that we would want to receive. That's far-reached anti-aircraft system and mid-ranged. For the time being, we have from partners just supplies, just different anti-aircraft. There are manpad. They're also very efficient, especially downing helicopters and fixed wing. Yesterday and the day before yesterday, we in Sichislav Brigade of paratroopers, they downed I-8 helicopter and several airplanes. It's also anti-aircraft defense of different type, and that's positive. What is related to improved values, it's all human factor. That since first days they faced this missile assault, first in the world. It never happened in the world, this mass missile strikes as on our territory. And with thanks to our people, we increase the percentage of cruise missiles that we down. When we have problems with the missiles, sometimes it's very difficult to down them with improve with the current rates like Iskander missiles that have very high speed, and they're more difficult targets for our detachments. Current Iskander and ballistics, some say that NASAMS could down them, that we're still expecting, but I'd like to define that information that in the south of Ukraine, Stormer started working, and that yesterday we downed 2 Russian airplanes and a helicopter. How that is interrelated. Information can really vary, and a lot of military experts we have emerged lately, and every TV watcher, everybody who comments on social networks, they are all experts. We have true sources of information. We have notifications of downings Su-25 airplane and K-52 helicopters. It's about manpad Igla of Soviet production. We use more reliable sources of information. And regarding NASAMS, yes, actually the producer states that those complexes, they're able of downing Iskander missiles. Their technical characteristics, their M120 Abrams is one of the best missiles of it's air-air. But also NASAMS use them to down the missiles. And producer says that the complex is capable of downing all types of missiles, but we do not see, there is no proof of that, because it did not work on Russian missiles. So we have to try, and we will be glad to see it and down the missiles. If you have questions, please raise hands. One more question from herself. Mykolaiv was hit with 18 missiles today. And we see how tactics they change. Firstly, it was single launches of caliber. Then they started to mass launch with the help of several dozens of missiles. They went through the anti-aircraft defense. And now it's combined when they launched missiles from airplanes and also launched from the land missiles. What is that related with, that they moved to this mixed mass tactics? Not that they moved to it, it always happens. The enemy wants to distract the anti-aircraft defense and the defense on land. Even if there is an artillery strike, they always make fires to make it sudden and to destroy the enemy. They're just basics of combat. So they use their tactics. Also, in Mykolaiv region, Kharkiv region, they use anti-aircraft missiles S-300, and they use it to hit land targets. We also in Yagolik tried that complex. We tried hit land targets with it, and even on water targets it works. So there is one more threat from occupation troops. It's anti-aircraft missiles that can ruin more than Caliber and other missiles. No, it does not ruin as much as Caliber and other missiles, but they still ruin. And there are thousands of elements there that are designed to attack, to damage airplanes. Right now, everybody says that in the region, every administration says about strikes overall with missiles and also with artillery. And also they call it missile because they're similar, yes. According to our information, what happened in the morning, early in the morning today, firstly, they struck from airplanes, Su-35 or Su-30 from the Black Sea. There were airplanes based at Akhtubinsk about 4:30 with 3 airplanes. They struck H-59 missiles. They struck 5 missiles, H-59, mostly in the Odessa region, near Zatoka and other places. On the consequences with the military-civil administration. They will speak in more detail about the consequences of those strikes. And about 5 a.m., in 30 minutes, 10 airplanes, Su-25 and M-30 bombardment airplanes based at north of Ukraine, Shaikovka, Russia. They flew to Black Sea region, to Equatorium and Black Sea, and made missile strokes of H-22 M3. Yes, I'm listening. I'm hearing you. Yes. Flew to Equatorial Black Sea and made 8 strikes with missiles X-22 from 22 M3 bombardment airplanes. 10 airplanes, 8 missiles. Mostly in Odessa region, Zatoka region. On the bridge, well known. And about the consequences, the local authorities will tell you more detail what consequences we have from that missile strikes. On Ukrinform, please tell us, do you know how many airplanes international air partners will be able to give to Ukraine, and how many pilots are now trained abroad in the framework of the training mission? Thank you. Everybody asks how many pilots are being trained. We don't have the information that our pilots are being trained. there was a decision of the U.S. government. There was a draft law about assigning $100 million U.S. dollars to train military pilots in 2023. Probably those funds will be involved earlier, but we're speaking about serious steps. If the U.S. government allocates money to train Ukrainian pilots on U.S. airplanes, it means that there's serious intention from the U.S. government, and we will probably receive airplanes, F-15, F-16, and maybe others. Therefore, right now, we cannot speak about the amount of airplanes and which kind of airplanes. Of course, there should be some negotiations among governments and presidents and General Staff and Ministry of Defense. Probably there are ongoing negotiations, but we don't know the decision, and we do hope for a positive decision. I would like to delineate about S-300. Use of them in this quality is more about terrorism, because those missiles are anti-aircraft. They have different vectors. They don't fulfill tasks that they're basically designed to be fulfilled. But the how is that comply with reality? Indubitably, we have photo proofs and video proofs of the consequences. There is ruining, but those damaging elements, there are thousands. They're designed to damage the corpus of the airplane from the aluminum alloy, which is not armored, but small pieces. If you see investigation on MH17, when the Russian occupants downed the Boeing MH17, it shows those elements. They're designed to destroy the airplane, and the missile is exploding near the airplane. So they try to use it on the regions that I named, and evidently those missiles, they still have a surplus of those missiles, so they can terrorize the civilians and strike stadiums and residential areas. They have a lot of those anti-aircraft, those occupants. All the books, Book M2, M3, Tor, Panzer, S-300, S-400, on the occupied territories. Practically, we have all the information where those complexes are located. We have the intelligence, so we make certain steps to countering those means. And if S-300 is obsolete complex, so probably they use it like this, but we counter them in many ways. Thank you for the information. Yuriy Ihnat was the Speaker of the Air Force of Ukraine. We'll meet you at 2:30. We'll have guest Ksenia Voznitsina, head lecturer of Center of Psychological Health and Rehabilitation of Veterans, Lisova Polana, under the Ministry of Healthcare of Ukraine. We'll speak about rehabilitation of Ukrainian military.